What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I had to do this one because I've had some consulting calls last week, and you'll be surprised what pushes people to do better, stretch themselves, do new things, and sometimes it's working with miserable people. There is a level of miserable that's going to come in the next 4 years. I did the video about people who, the 74 million who voted for Donald Trump, and it may only be, 7 million that are diehard, right? Maybe. But those people are going to come to work and they're going to be miserable people. Now, why am I saying that? Most people are like, oh, that's, you're making assumptions about Trump voters. I'm just telling you, when things don't go your way, in society, in your life, you go find people to blame it on. You go find a way to be a miserable person. And that's why when you come on the internet, you come on YouTube, there's people out here with miserable conversation, and they will talk about it for hours on end, and they'll do it day in and day out. And something I learned last week when I went to a business meeting with 10 other business owners who were like, had 100, 300, 400 employees. Some were making, a couple million a year. Some were making more millions a year. Some had created liquor brands. Some had, created all kind of stuff. And I'm sitting in the room with these people, and the conversation level is amazing. The energy, amazing. The conversation, amazing. And when people have something going on with their life, they have something to do, they have a hobby, they have a focus, they are less likely to be miserable. Now you're going to say, Eric, are you crapping on people with jobs? No, I'm not. I'm just saying I remember working jobs at $10 an hour, right? I remember working jobs at $12 an hour. I remember working jobs at $15 an hour. I remember working a job at like 32 an hour. And I can just tell you, as I was going up, the levels of what people could do on the weekend improved. A lot of times people complain about their job because that's where they find their friends. And your job was never meant for you to come to work and find friends. That's your personal life. That's your, what do you do after, 5 to 9 at night life? That's what you do on your Saturday and Sundays. And so people would come to work and people weren't friendly to them and they'd be miserable, right? And that's not where you come to find friends. And when you would say that, people get offended, right? You have to shape your environment. Now, you could be at home all day meditating and putting positive quotes into your heart and your mind and your spirit and your body. And you will walk into work, and 5 minutes later, somebody will say something stupid. And you'll be like, ah. So my goal for anybody who watches this channel is I don't want you working with miserable people. I don't want you working with miserable people. I don't want you living with miserable people. A lot of times people are going to be in situationships. A lot of times people are going to be moving in with family and friends over the next 4 years to save money. And I'm just going to tell you, there's, a lot of y'all need to buy your peace of mind. And how do you buy your peace of mind? You shape your life. You shape. If you know where you're at right now is not working financially, is not giving you the results in life you desire, well, we need to sit down with a piece of paper and say, what number does that? Right? What number gives us the house we want in the neighborhood we want? What car gives us some satisfaction? Which, when it comes to cars, none of them will. I mean, I'm in a bigger vehicle, as you guys can see, but it no car is going to give you that absolute joy. That's why you see these videos where guys have 10 and 12 and 15 cars, because it's fleeting. The car joy is fleeting. Okay. And what I want you to do is in that piece of paper is shape your life. What are some places you want to go? Things you want to do? I'm going on a mini road trip next week to check on property, to check on land, to check on trucks, to do all kind of stuff next week. And I had just mentally decided, yeah, I'm going to do that. And people are like, you could fly, be quicker. For what? This is my time. I dictate my time. Right. And so you have to shape the future you want. You have to shape what you want, because what ends up happening is people fall into ruts where they go to work with miserable people who are not happy to be there. They've been in traffic. And let me go ahead and give you a little snippet on that. I drove in traffic at 9 a.m. one day. I think it was last week for something. And I was like, oh, this is horrible. Where is everybody going? I thought y'all were working from home. And then when I was driving, 5 o'clock, I had to pick up my family from the airport. I was like, oh my gosh, all this traffic is horrible. I would literally have to be playing uplifting music and motivational, inspirational stuff every day to get through some of that traffic. And what I keep trying to tell you is I'm going to keep for the rest of the next 60 days, bringing on people to the channel that can talk to you about how to start a business from home, motivational thought process, and uplifting for 2021, because you need it. You straight up need it. A lot of times people are like, man, I don't want to be all this hustle, hustle, hustle culture, Erica. And you don't have to be. There's a period in time where you hustle hard. And a lot of times I've seen it with people, it's like 2-3 years, sometimes 2 to 5. But when you clarify your goals on what your goals look like and what your money should look like, oh, you get really, really, really niche down to what you need. Oh, we need to do this. Okay. And we need to do this every day. So how do we get this done? I used my VAs to do my cold calling for real estate, and we had 7 people that we needed to close deals with. Well, then, I was like, hey, can I partner with 1 or 2 of you other wholesalers and y'all just finish this deal with this lady and this other guy? No problem. They did it, right? You have to shape your relationships. You have to be intentional. And what's happening is we have a lot of people with low vibrational stuff going on. Oh, I see you there, Mark. I'm glad you enjoyed Diamond Dave. He's good. He's good. Good mental stuff. It is snowing in Austin right now. It's beautiful. It snowed yesterday and the day before, but right now it's just snow on the ground. You have to be intentional, super intentional. If you're not going to float your way to the top, you're not going to float your way carelessly through to $1 million. You're not going to float your way to a lot of stuff that people think they're just going to just float on to. And that's not how that works. You have to be really intentional and write down, this is where we're trying to go next year. And this is the steps we have to take to get there. Now, I'm all about enjoying the journey as you're going, but a lot of people have gotten to a phase of where they're YOLOing every weekend and they still aren't getting to their goals. How do we get you to your goals, And again, there was a quote that said, if 2020 didn't bring it out of you, it ain't in you. And I'm starting to believe that. If it didn't bring out you last year, it ain't in you. Because if last year and your current work, getting up, going to work with people that are miserable, and they're going to be miserable for the next 3 years over the Donald Trump thing, isn't motivating you, woo, I don't know what can. And here's the thing. There's some people that are like, Erica, I don't care. I just want to show up to work, make a little bit of money, do a little bit of cookout on the weekends, and that's all I want to do. Well, that's fine. But be clear about that. Don't go around lying and fronting and capping on the internet and being in 27 different rooms of Clubhouse and, yeah, I'm out here getting these good gems and doing all this. If you don't really want to do anything with it, don't do it. Why spin yourself up if you know you don't want to do it? Don't lie to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And there was something, Diamond Dave said in one of his videos, it cracked me up. And it was just like, people really want to do just enough to basically have some sex, live comfortable in a house, play video games, watch sports, and chill. And that's a majority of people. And that's okay. But don't complain. That's okay. But don't complain. Like, we don't want to hear from you in society about your situation if that's where you've put yourself. Because you didn't get here in 2020. You got here 5 to 10 years before this, right? Your actions that you did every single day got you here. You didn't gain a bunch of weight in 1 year from 2020. You didn't do all this stuff, gradually got there, right? So you have to be very intentional about where you want to be and where you want to head. If you sit in your office, and I remember like yesterday, sitting in office with a bunch of girls that I had nothing in common with. And because I wasn't social with them and I wasn't girly with them, it pretty much was our boss was like, well, she's not a good fit for the office. These girls are talking about nonstop about something on Lifetime Movie Network and hair and Starbucks coffee and vague crap that doesn't matter, nothing to do at work. And because I wouldn't lower myself into that conversation patch, I wasn't a good fit for work. Even though I did my work, got all my stuff done on time, I wasn't a good fit for the office. And what you're going to see in the next 8 years, 10 years is a lot of people aren't a fit for the office. That's what's going to happen. A lot of people are not going to be a fit for the office. And they're going to be able to just push you right on out the door because you don't fit the office. And so that's why I really want you to understand that if you don't put yourself in a position, you know what I'm saying? If you don't put yourself in a position where you can exit that building if they get on your nerves, this is dangerous, y'all. If you didn't think it was dangerous last year, you should know it's dangerous now. You're going to be with a lot of people that realize, I've got a son or daughter that didn't go to college. They moved back at home with me. I'm going to get them a job here at the office because we're all social and buddy with each other. You know what I'm saying? right? Somebody said not being a team player. Yeah, they love using that word. You're just not being a team player. I'm sorry, no, I don't have to do that. So a lot of like, I just realized a lot of the conversation, trying to convince people, hey, buy property, buy real estate, buy tax liens. That's not what you want to hear, right? That's not what you want to hear. What you want to hear is, how can I get away from these miserable people? How can I spend more time going on vacation? How can I go do something else? Right? And that's where people really are. They don't want to hear about, assets or investing. There's plenty of information on the internet on how you can invest. And the truth of it is a lot of people, what they realize is, I don't have enough money to get in that. Right. So I talk about ten to $20,000 often on the channel, but I really want you to understand about 50K. 50K can get you to a lot of apartment syndication deals. 50K. 50K can get people into a lot of these mobile home park deals and a lot of these different stuff. But 50K is like a walking into the door number. Now you're not gonna go crazy cake money over 50K, but you're going to be able to have some say in your day. So that's why when people said, I remember this guy saying, gosh, he'd never borrow money again. He did a bunch of deals in Ohio. Because once you know a number of what you need to make your business run, make your business operate, you don't have time. You don't have time. Someone said, my boss told me I need to socialize at lunch during my lunch and be a team player. Oh, honey, no. See, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, this is the thing. This is the thing. It's like, what does that have to do with my work performance? And so this is what I want y'all to understand. A lot of y'all are going to go get degrees. You're going to go get MBAs. You're going to try to go get into the upper echelons and rankings of people. And they don't want you there, baby. And it's not because you're black. It's just, if you don't, black or Hispanic or Latino, it's because you're not their friends and family. You're not their clique, right? That's the part. That's why. And so when people don't understand, like, right there, a potluck. I'm still being ridiculed at work to this day for skipping a team potluck 3 years ago. They said I was standoffish and rude. What does that have to do with work? I'm not eating the food Karen made at her house that she got pets and animals at home. No, come on, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's why I want you to understand that, like, you have to understand that some people are coming to work to make friends. And even they call them work friends, whatever you want, when they don't go to your real house. I don't call anybody. If I cannot physically go in your house, we're not friends. I've been over several people that you've seen me hang out on the internet. I've been to their mama house. I've been to their house. Those are friends. Okay. If I ain't been to your mama house and your house, I'm not your friend. I'm your close associate. We may be getting closer to being friends, but I'm not your friend. And so this stuff is so weird to me. It's so weird. It's very cool. Like, you know what? Hold on. Let me go ahead and block you. You're blocked. Someone had to cut somebody already. Y'all already acted up early. And so I just blocked this person. Right? So I just blocked this person. Why did I block this person? Because I don't have to deal with miserable people. I mean, let's be really clear. I don't have to deal with miserable people. I create my own business here. I manage assets over there, rental properties, trucks. Just got to keep managing it, right? I have a project closing over here. You don't have to deal with miserable people. And the more you do, you got to peace out. Do you understand that you don't have to deal with miserable people? Like, people are literally coming on YouTube. And thank you, Leslie, for $20 super chat. People are literally coming on YouTube, miserable in their whole life, coming on the internet to be more miserable. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you understand how crazy that is? That's how crazy that is, that they come on the internet because they're so miserable to be more miserable to somebody else. Is that crazy? Right? So I'm going to golf classics later this year, going to Cabo with a group of business owners, going to freaking Florida twice. I think 3 times this year. We're going to go do a bunch of business, and you're talking to people and telling them about opportunities, and people come on the internet to be miserable. Do you understand what I'm trying to get y'all to understand here? Like, some of these people are creating the life that they have by literally every day going on the YouTube, looking for miserable conversations. Some of these people already married and deep into these miserable conversations about single women. What does that have to do with you? If you've already got a wife and kids, go focus on your family, sir. There's a whole show called Focus on the Family. You need hobbies. Do you know what I'm saying? Imagine that being a married person, you're literally like, yes, Kevin Samuels. Yes, these miserable conversations. You can hear them when they call in. Kevin's like, you're married. Why are you calling the show, ma'am? You're married. Go enjoy your family. Do you see what I'm saying? That's literally miserable people who are miserable. Come with it. Come on, y'all. Y'all know what I'm saying. These people are miserable, and you go to work every day and they're there because they don't have no life. They don't have no friends. They don't have money to have. I mean, you literally, if you watch my stories, you see I have a chef. You see I have a personal trainer. You see I'm going to do golf and tennis. You see me out and about. You see, you're going to see me at a few concerts coming up that are private concerts events. These people don't have no life after YouTube. Listen, there are people who are on here on YouTube. Now, I'm not trying to brag or anything. I went to Round Rock the other day, maybe 2 weeks ago for coffee, and I went to another place down the street near Starbucks. It's like an independent coffee place. And both times somebody recognized me, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Start talking to them. People are on the internet and they don't ever leave their house. They sit here doing 20, 30, 40 videos a day, doing 8-hour hangouts. Nobody knows them in their city, in their town. They can't go speak at a business. They can't go speak at an event. Nobody knows them off the internet. They don't show their face. They're a faceless person doing faceless person things. Do y'all understand that if they shut you off from this YouTube, you have to go do something else? Some of them will, right? And again, there's several people like, I want you to understand the game is bigger than this. The game is bigger than this, right? You literally can go on glassdoor.com, and we do it inside the class, middleman to millions, and also Rise 20%, and show you how much we're paying. You can pay a person 18 to 20 bucks an hour through your Indeed QuickBooks on payroll, and they will almost do almost all the stuff you can think of in the office, because people have been mentally trained to just show up to go. They got to get a job, and the job is going to pay them, and that's all they're trained to do. And if you go to work and you know you got other things you can do with your time, with your life, with your grandkids, some of you got grandkids, go do that. You don't have to be at work with the miserable people. You don't have to be there. You create your environment. You can cut whoever you want out your circle. Now, I ain't saying be delusional, but I'm saying you don't have to be around miserable people. And that's what we're training people in the United States. Well, you should work with your coworkers. You have people at work now who are in their 70s to their 20s. You've got multiple generations at one office. There is never going to be this kumbaya moment at your office. Not always, right? Let me see what y'all saying in here. There you go. Being a team player is known as office politics. If you don't play the game, you won't move up. Once you have your own money, it doesn't really matter more. I'm telling you, when you get a rental property or two and you show up to work, you're like, who is this? What do you want? Really? You know, like, I just thought it was hilarious when Kendra was 32 years old, retiring, and they're like, how you retiring? These are people who've been in Washington, D.C., getting high-paid jobs, and they're in their 40s and 50s, and still haven't figured out the game. That they're going to have to leave this office one day. Literally, they're going to have to leave the office one day, and they haven't even planned for it. There you go. She said I'm being labeled antisocial because I don't talk about my personal life at work. That's none of their business. None of their business, man. And that's the crazy part. You're taking option trading. Good. Congratulations. Because if you have a skill, you have something you can do, you can go do that. Go do that. Apps, if you're actually in the Middleman to Millions course, go watch the course. We teach you how to hire people, how to use contractors. Middleman to Millions, the whole point. You're the middleman. You're not the person physically doing it. You do. It's real sad that you have to literally tell grown people, I'm not here to hang out with you, Karen. I have my own life outside of work. And this is the thing I used to tell Like my mom and my aunts were, high security people that were in government security jobs. Mom did military all those years. I was like, it's great to have some military friends after work for sure, but you need to go be volunteering, go find some new hobbies, go sign up for new things to do. That's just is what it is. That's good. Again, that's oat milk. Yeah, we're on oat milk now. But I really want you to understand that somebody can watch this per channel. I had somebody comment in the community section. Oh yeah, you're stuck up, you're arrogant that I watched your channel, but why are you watching somebody that don't make you happy? Why are you programming yourself to watch something that just is unbearable to watch? This person's unbearable to you, but you're watching them. Does that make sense? I can't work in hospital settings. I'm telling you. Listen. I remember this guy was saying his whole thing was to retire, go move back to South Carolina, live like in the country, and just chill. And his wife was like, and do what? Some people have set themselves that they want to go on strict autopilot of doing nothing. And you have to determine if is that in your wheelhouse. Oh my God, there's so much in here. Missed. Oh, I missed some stuff. It's going up. Yeah, misery loves company. I'm telling you, listen. Be reprogrammed. Reprogram yourself to value people, to value those relationships, and connect with others. That's really what you have to do. And when I talk about being reprogrammed, and it's nothing scary, I'm just meaning, there's a YouTuber who's leaving California right now, and he's gonna be in Puerto Rico with his family, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna reconnect with my kids. Imagine that, working from home all this time, and you have to literally go on a massive vacation to reconnect with your family because you're just out of the loop with them. No work should be that important, right? Unless you're a rocket science, you curing cancer, you a doctor, you a nurse saving lives, and the lady's arms bleeding, your kids calling the hospital. Okay, but some of y'all just have administrative jobs, and this is where we have to kind of get back into reality. And I just want to bring it up: 140,000 people lost their job in December. They were all women. And I'm going to say this again. I've already told you 4 or 5 years ago, I was saying a lot of these women are going to go home and get married. They're going to go home and be content with the person that's living with them. They're going to go home and stay with family. They're going to move in the home with the fam. I just kept seeing too many people on Facebook, too many people at church, too many people in real life marrying single moms, guys with making 100K a year, engineers, not nerdy, fit body. It was who they were in proximity to. So you have to understand, if you're in proximity every day to miserable people, this more than likely is going to run it off on you. So you need to get yourself in proximity with people that are either movers, shakers, going to go do something. Because if not, they'll start to rub off on you. At some point, these people are going to rub off on you. And something I thought was funny. Back in the day, I failed one of my driving school tests when I was young, real young, like 16 or something. And the guy was like rude and snappy and attitude, and everybody was so scared of him at the DMV, like, oh man, don't get him. He's terrible. Well, my mom was like, she just went in there and took our other cousin to go get their test. And the guy was in there and he was older. He was still grumpy, but he had less bark than bite, right? And she said, that's crazy. He been there too long. He need to go do something else. And I said, that's exactly what that means. You been there all them years, miserable, failing people on their chest. Go on out of there, man. I mean, again, people don't usually have multiple hustles. People are really good at their job. And this is why I keep telling y'all, right now, everything you do at your job, if you can put it in a protocol, write it out and show people what you do at your job, because you can go get another job and you can get more money, because some of y'all are not in the position to just bounce from work. And I've never advocated for that. I've always advocated transitioning or having a side hustle that brings in an extra 20 grand a year. Right. And the reason I say 20 grand a year is because I don't want you to put pressure on your business to be gangbusters the first month out. You better be making me 10K every month. It's possible. It's possible. I've seen it happen. I've seen people, middleman of millions. There's a guy in there 3 weeks, 100K roofing. But you get immersed into those side projects because they mean more to you, because more money is going directly to your pocket. So, honey, I'm tired after an hour. You know, and I'm drinking water. Y'all be seeing me, I'll be drinking water, about to pass out, sweating. You got to understand, when people are doing these 3 to 5 and 6, 7, 8 hour hangouts, where's your children? Where's your grandchildren? Where's your wife? Where's your husband? What time are you investing with them? Just sitting on the couch listening to a 3 hour, 4 or 5 hour podcast, and your family's in the den playing with toys and not looking at you. You're not being present. It's about being present. I'm just trying to be very clear. Like, the next 60 days, I'm really serious. I just want to bring on people onto the show that are going to talk about motivational things and how to start different kinds of businesses, because I really understand it's 2021 and some people have been home for 11 months, and you should not be in an economic position that you are going to depend on $600 or $2,000 from the government sending you $2,000. You should be like, what has happened to my life that I need that $2,000 from Joe Biden? What's happening? Now you're gonna say, well, Erica, you taking the PPP, you doing this to provide for people in my office, to make sure the staff kicks off right, to make sure the government, hey, the government is giving it, I'm gonna get it. I've seen people get $400,000 from their online business, relocate their company from California to Florida, and live a good life, and keep their staff employed and keep things running. So yeah, we'll take that. It's the same as a business loan, because we're actually running business. But if we didn't get it, let's say we didn't get any of it, guess what we're gonna do? Them trucks gonna be back on the road. The people gonna be working. We're gonna figure it out for the rental properties, and we're gonna keep it pushing. There's a million ways to win. Choose one. You're just gonna keep pushing. And that's the thing. It's like, you shouldn't be in a position where this makes or breaks you. You should be in a position that it helps guide you. It's additional. What you're gonna see is a bunch of crab leg bulls on the internet soon. But when you see people like, Erica, you don't care about your fellow Americans because you don't want us to get this $600. I'm like, I never said that. I'm just saying that's a bad move, baby. If you got to get that $600, what happens next month? What happens in February? And you know what's going to happen in February? I'm going to tell you. Oh, let's get ready for tax time. January 31st, I have my my W-9 from my boss, for my job, right? Well, then what happens in March? Well, you know, we got the tax front back now. We're going to do this or that. What happens in April? Oh, we got to get ready for these kids going to be home, eating me out of house and home for the summer. So May, June, and July, it's the same story. Kids eating us out of house and home. What happens in August? Man, I can't wait for these kids to go back. I might have to get them this COVID shot so they can go back to school. I can't. They in the house too much. Okay, so then they back in school, and it starts all over again. It never breaks the rut, right? They never created freedom for themselves. They never gave themselves a choice. They're just miserable all year. So, congrats, Apollo. Don't talk about personal life, politics, or religion at work. But guess what? You have to understand, when you go to work at some of these offices, these people have no decorum. They don't care. They're going to talk about Trump. They're going to talk about Obama. I remember somebody talking about Obama, and my friend was saying at work, they almost got in a fight because people were talking about Obama. And I'm like, girl, what y'all talking about Obama for? He ain't even in office, right? But that's what was going on at her job. And so I'm on the phone with her, and I had to wait to call. Like, I got a lot of friends I have to wait to call them after 6 o'clock. Or if I call them from 2 to 3, they're like, what's up, girl? Hey, blah, 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 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So again, it plays a lot into your life. So if you're going to choose a job, at least let it be a high paying job. At least go Kamoy route, go to some of these tech job routes. Because even if you're going to a higher paid job, which I'm just going to be honest, some people, if you took them out of their job right now, their whole life would be messed up. They wouldn't know what to do. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all and be like, just start a business. No, some of y'all need to get a higher paying job. Let that work, pay off your debt, let it rock, and then make a decision for something else. But when you're making 30, 40, 50 a year, it's like, it's barely enough to get you out of your thought process. There you go. Boundaries. Listen, if I could, I'd pass out a book called Boundaries. There's actually a book called Boundaries for Business Owners, I think. Listen, if you're not talking about every weekend being turned up, Mr. Shelley, then what's wrong with you? It gets crazy out there. And here's the crazy part is, like, the more people I talk to, there's nothing wrong with the job, y'all. Don't ever let me make you feel like I'm telling you there's something wrong with the job. I'm telling you there's something wrong with being around miserable people at your workspace and not fully committing yourself to creating something after hours and on the weekend to go do it. You know what happens? I talk to people and they're like, oh God, her work was so hard. I've got to sit here and veg out for an hour just to clear my mind from how hard work was. And by the time I asked them, was it the work? Is it the work level? No, it's the people. So why are you going to be around people, come home, spend an hour vegging out in your mind? Let's go ahead and keep it real. An hour in traffic, then an hour vegging out with your family there. They can't talk to you. They got to be quiet because daddy can't, they got to think right now. Then you're going to spend maybe 7 to 9 o'clock looking at them. Then your kids go to bed and start it all over again. You really didn't get any time with your family. You really didn't get any time. And then on top of that, you got these people on YouTube for 4 hours in the afternoon. So really, you ain't even present. So this is what I'm saying. You have to create an environment for yourself. Now, the other day, I was saying on Glenn Cameron's Live that 2.5 million people are homeschooling. And yes, that's only 3 or 4%. It's a small percentage because 50 million other kids are just going through the school system, right? Right? If you went through 2020 and it didn't ding on you, it didn't dawn on you that you can do this yourself, you can use a tutor to tutor this child. And if you don't see the trends happening in our society that most people, we really need to show how many people are in private school, because they've already started segueing, like, get my kid out of this public school, put them in a private school, get them out of the private school, get them into Montessori school, get them out of Montessori school, get them into private tutoring, because it'll fit better with their lifestyle. There are several people who've already talked to, their kids are not going back. These women ain't going back to work, and some of these kids ain't going back. If you think these women are so scared that they barely go to the grocery store because of COVID, you think they're sending little Molly back, little Justin back to school? No. I went by the karate place, and they've got karate classes in the middle of the day for kids now. In the middle of the day, Monday through Friday. So whose kids are there? Who kids are there? Somebody's kids is there if the karate classes over here are now open Monday through Friday during the middle of the day, 3 classes in the day for kids. So again, I'm not telling everybody what to do. I'm just telling you what the trends are happening, that people are going to be, they're going to be at home and be like, nah, I ain't going back. And this was before even women getting fired. Women were realizing it didn't make sense. You had skyrocketing numbers of women having heart attacks, strokes, dying, striking out at work in the early 30s. Nah, baby, no, I love myself too much. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to figure out the number I need, not have to deal with work. No, I'm not going to do that. We're not doing that. We're going to do this and keep it moving. You have to set up your life so that you can live and enjoy it. Office politics. People think you owe them your personal business. Ooh, honey, that's terrible. Yeah, they hate watching. People be, oh, I hate what you're saying, but they're still watching. Why are you still watching, baby? You can go watch anything. That just shows you how miserable you are, that you're miserable. You're going to watch something you hate and just be sitting there like, oh, I'm watching her. She need to do this. She need to do that. It's like, baby, that's it. You need to get therapy. That's it. Applesauce. It took me years, Job. I'm telling you, free yourself, free your mind. You're here for the money and not for the people. Listen, I used to work at a Logan Steakhouse, and the manager was in there just sleeping around. I'm like, ugh, sir, you need a life. Like, and this is in college. And I'm like, really? You risking your manager job for this? I heard it all the time. It was sad. There you go. Don't be friends with your clients. Sometimes you can't do it, man. But this is the thing. You have to look at people's jobs, Black Buddha. When I talk to a lot of women, they try to get an easier job so they can spend more time with their kids. That is more flexible so they can get off work. It's not uncommon. You can do a lot of surveys on women, and what they do is they get an easier job so they can go home. Right? Oh, my kids need me, gotta go home. Well, my mindset is, well, shit, what number do we need so that you can stay home and be fully engaged with your kids' lives and your husband can work? Now, everybody ain't got a husband, but what I'm telling you is you're going to figure it out real quick what leftover people looks like. And it's not just leftover women. It's some leftover men in our society. And we all know what they look like. But that's not the point. What ends up happening is If you don't determine and be intentional in this plan, you'll look up one day and you ain't got no job. Don't do that to yourself. Be intentional. You don't like working with these people? You don't want to be here all day? You got kids you want to focus on? What's the number you need? What debt number do you need to pay off? What car do you need to get rid of? What do you need to do to build that life you want? There are several little blogs and websites, and I'm not trying to knock, I'm just trying to show you that there's a lot of people who have $0 to $10,000 a month businesses, and they quit working their jobs because the average American is making $3. If they start their lifestyle blog and they got a ton of affiliate links and they got an email list and they make 10K a month, they're done. They're gone. I know a girl right now, she can't get more than 200 likes on Instagram, but she literally is making 10K a month from affiliate marketing. And I'm sitting here like, damn, salute to you. You're really the champ. Do you know what I'm saying? And so you just have to get in a position where you don't, like, any of this stuff is not needed. You don't need it to survive, right? If you need YouTube to survive, and let's just keep it a buck, I'll probably talk more about it with Diamond Dave tomorrow, but if you need YouTube to survive, what you're saying is you need this free traffic for your business to run. I've spent money on ads this past week, and we sold 4 classes, big expensive classes, right? And expensive consulting, monthly coaching, and you're like, oh crap. And that's from advertising. We just buy the ads. You don't have to do the free stuff. The free stuff is great, but what a lot of people are telling you is if they cannot run, if they can't have this free YouTube and this free Facebook and this free Instagram, they don't have a business. That's a bad spot to be in, baby. You should always be able to be capable to be able to say, all right, this is the process. I promote my business. I make profit. Okay, I can do this. I can run ads. I can do something else, right? Or I can take my money and go put it over here. And when you start really getting to the point where you have $20,000 to $50,000, those money positions. I mean, again, I remember I was talking with somebody and we were fussing, and he was like, "I could just take 25,000 and go get $800 a month off some rental property in Detroit and keep it moving." And I laughed, but he was right. We were just having this conversation, and I was like, "And that's why you need 50. You need 50 so you can go get a duplex and get more, get double that, or you need 50 so you can take that 50 and go put it in apartment syndication." Right? There's all these apartment syndications out here that will gladly take your 50 and educate you on the way going up. So again, listen, I'm telling you, Andrea, Jay, I'm telling you, the cookbooks, the green living, the healthy foods, I'm telling you, this stuff is gonna people are gonna go back to it. I'm telling you, people are like really hardcore going back. The pendulum always swings, and that was I had the 2 books I was going to write. The Pendulum Swings Back, and another book I was writing about conservatism. Like, it's not Donald Trump. It's economic, right? It's economic. Women have been out there in the workforce. They don't necessarily, let's just be honest, they don't like working, a lot of them. And they're like, ooh, I will gladly come back home and focus on the family. I will gladly retreat and do this. I will gladly follow Dave Ramsey and budget our money, right? Because a lot of this is arguments about money. And as long as your spouse makes 50 to 80K a year and he ain't crazy, some of y'all could be home. But I'm not going to, that's a conversation for another day. Don't get too comfortable. I'm telling you. Here's the thing, exactly, these jobs are not coming back. A lot of people that I'm speaking to keep thinking that women are going to come back from this. Women are literally oblivious to what's going on there. There are some women that are, for sure. I'm not going to front on you. There's some women that I think, like, hey, this is just 20, like, they didn't get it. They didn't get, like, I saw 3 girls on Instagram who literally, they were in this mastermind I was in, and it was not a cheap mastermind. And all 3 of them went and married. I'm trying to be nice. They went and married people that was in their DMs. Like, the men were business owners in another state, in their DMs, flew out to California, talked to them several times, and then old girl went and picked it up. One girl went to Colorado, other girl, 2 girls went to Texas. Got married to old boy and moved in and called it a day. Now, if you see their Instagram, it's old photos. They're not even in California no more. And I'm just saying this not to be not crapping on them. They were smart girls. They're smart women. And they were getting to the point where I'm like, you on Instagram and you starting to get to the 30s category. 2 of them were already in the 30s category. Baby, the timeline on life. Pay attention. Take the cues. You want to be in LA while it's shut down? There's no movie stars, there's no red carpets, there's no nothing. Unless you're an actress, keep it moving. And so you have to also recognize time. You have to really pay attention to time. Do you want to spend your time like this? Do you want to be around miserable people trying to fit in somewhere you don't fit? Honey, this world is so big, you can create whatever you want. How to Beast YouTube channel, I think I shared this video in the thing. He came in here from Boston. He was like, bump Boston. Tired of it. Came to Austin 2.5 years, enjoyed it, wanted to build a big old house, was like, oh, now it's getting really expensive to build a house in Austin. Where can I build that big old house at with my YouTube money? Oh, Houston, peace out, I'm gone. And you can decide just like that. You can decide just like that. And people have to really pay attention, like, before it's too late. And I'm not gonna say it's ever too late, because I know y'all watch my channel and be like, well, Erica, people can start over tomorrow. You can start anything you want tomorrow. I think Kevin said this thing before, life tells you no, right? Marina Muto, who's like a TV entertainment news, she's 42, and she was like, yeah, she left California. She married a businessman in 2017. She's like, oh, I'm leaving California, I'm going to start my family. She's 42, so she's like, well, we're using a surrogate, of course. And people get to a point where life tells them no. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. I hope it doesn't sound crazy, but I just want you to understand, like, you don't want to get to a point where you're 62 years old and now they done cut your foot off because you got diabetes and life is telling you no. Right? You really can, you got to make a decision. See, that's what I'm saying. Ugh. Pamela, see drunk people hugging on you. I just can't. Honey, I've seen people do it. I've seen it. That's my thing. It's like the people that are talking, like they have these big followings. They could not get 10 people to get in a room where they live. And there's 3 or 4 of them I'm thinking of them right now. If they were in their city, if I say, hey, I'm Erica Williams and I'm going to do a meetup in my city, there are several people here in the Round Rock and Pflugerville area that would show up. Just local people, right? But that begins if you're actually advertising in your local area, if you're advertising in your state, right? Listen, put it to work. Put it to work. Please figure out your freedom plan. Please sit down and write. You know what I did? I took out the laptop and I typed up, what are the things I want to do this year? Where do I want to go? How much time do I want to spend with family? What vehicle do I want to drive? That's why I'm in a different vehicle now. You know, what are the things you want? What do you want? And what does it look like? What would it look like to get there? Because a lot of y'all, the number's less than you think. A lot of people are like, oh, I need $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. And you start talking to me, you're like, for what? Well, I'm trying to do this, and you're like, okay. Congratulations, Tay Tay. She said 2021 is going to be my year. Got a scholarship to study cybersecurity and looking into tax liens and becoming a notary. Listen, I'd much rather be a little hustle busy. You know, if all this went away, I'd rather be a little hustle busy. Go walk a few properties. Go quote a few jobs. Then have to go, man. You know, can you please let me on the internet, Google? I mean, I'm just thinking of poor, what's his name, Little Boosie. I mean, like, that's crazy. Little Boosie could buy advertising. He could send people to his own platform. He literally could have a membership website where people pay $1 to get on there a month, and they would do it. It'd be hundreds of thousands of people paying $1 with their debit card. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And the money would go straight to him. That's the stuff people aren't thinking of. Life does tell you no, man. Listen, at some point, and people are really in denial about it, but there's some things that life is telling them no at, and they ain't trying to hear that. Plano, carrot ballot, the money. Find the money and take care of the babies. Exactly. There you go. Tutoring business and at-home education business. Market is skyrocketing. Yeah, some of us need to get into that industry. Follow the money. I'm telling you, listen. And here's the thing. People are like, oh, socialize. I got to socialize my kid. You literally could take your kid to some of these afternoon karate classes, have a few play dates, and that tells you everything I need to know about you. If you can't even schedule a few play dates with friends of your same age group to have kids to play with, that already told me what I need to know about your life. You kind of got to get that situation straightened out, because you should have one or two people that are in your age group with kids that you should have. If you don't, you need to start putting your kid in young life groups, different groups where they can interact with kids their own age. Everybody, everybody want to call me while I'm doing my damn live show. Stop it. It's crazy. Work on your exit strategy. Get on out of there. Self-care. Get out of there. Congrats. Tam is eventually coming on the show. I don't know. Tam, make sure you email the staff@classyclimbtx.com. We'll talk more about cybersecurity stuff there. Listen, congrats, Mocha Jean. Listen, you can do it. You don't have to work with miserable people. You don't have to stay around miserable people. I don't have a course on it currently. I teach it inside of my Middleman to Millions. We had a guy come on to talk about getting leads for your business there. In the YouTube class, we go over advertising and marketing. The next 6 weeks, a lot of inside the class is going to be marketing for the spring year, because if you can promote and you can get results, you can keep your business open. That's just the facts, right? The people who aren't going to promote this year they're going to go away. People that don't, if they have websites and you don't know about it, they're going away. They're going away to dodo. Honestly, this is a great angle to pitch people from wanting to get away. I'm telling you, listen, I realize, if I'm sitting here telling you about investing in Fundrise and getting 10% returns on a little bit of money, nobody wants to hear that. That's not exciting. What people really want to hear is, Erica, how can I get away from these miserable coworkers, these miserable people in my neighborhoods, these miserable people that I'm around? You don't have to deal with these people. You create the life you want. And what does that life look like? And again, the other day, Glendon was talking about people having to take the shot to go travel. I already know private plane club groups who are getting around that, because I don't have to do that. I don't have to live a miserable life if I don't want to. I can go pay this fee to be a part of this private crime group that always goes to Jamaica. They always going to Florida. They always going down to the islands, and can catch a ride and be just fine. Again, you have to decide. I'm telling you, Mr. Shelley, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking to too many people who getting money, 10K, and I see their business is not phenomenal. It's not over the top, but they getting 10K, and 10K is different from a lot of people. And Taylor, is still a great time to get in tech. 50K, listen. 50K, if that's what your man worth, that's what your man worth. I said 50K to 80K. Come on now. 120 is a better zone, but some of y'all might have husbands you're going to have to promote up to get there. Tiffany Owens, anything's possible a little bit when I get back from my road trip. Let me see. Again, the sad part is I really, Pharaoh world, I'm just trying to get people to understand that, like, if you're going to go to a job, if you're going to go to work, even here, I was offered entry level jobs with no tech experience, 70K a year here in Austin. Some of it is proximity. It's who you're near, who you're talking to, get your foot in the door. And then some of it is just some of y'all are in different cities and states. You need to get some things on your resume, get some things in your portfolio. Because if you already know you're going to work, at least work where you're going to get real paid. That's my biggest thing. At least work where you're going to get real paid. There you go, Matthew Lewis. I got my Florida adjuster license 12/2020. My drone FAA test this month, and by March, April, my home inspector's license setting up for next month. You're gonna be rich, Matthew. Let me tell you, in comparison to other people, you're gonna be rich. And here's what's happening, and that and I'm kind of wrap the show up now with this. This whole angle, me trying to tell y'all don't have to work with miserable people. What you're gonna learn is, um, if you have some of these skills that people need as far as housing, again, three things that have 45% of the GDP is healthcare, construction, and real estate, and only 6% of the stock market. Now, I'm not going to say you can't be in the stock market and make a ton of money. That we all know that's true. But some of y'all, if you could get these trades and get these skills and get your foot in the door for the healthcare, construction, or real estate, or even the tech side of those, because in the business meeting I was in, there was a guy in there making kiosks and things for telehealth. He's gonna be a multimillionaire, and he ain't gonna look at one patient. He ain't even a doctor. He just scheduled. He's literally the highest version of middleman to millions. He's literally the middleman between the patient and the doctor, and using this kiosk and app system to check on the patient. And that's what I want y'all to understand, that majority of this stuff you see is middleman to millions. You're a middleman to the service and the customer. If you can run up a bunch of leads and run ads and get leads and get customers, you're going to have money for a long time. But people don't want to spend any money on advertising. They don't want to do different things to tinker with it to see if it'll work. They want to keep doing what's comfortable. And what's comfortable is working at work with miserable people and being on the internet, arguing with miserable people who are either single or lonely or a married person that don't even need to be in some of those channel spaces, arguing about something that don't even bother them, that don't even affect their daily life. That's the crazy part. Penny stock investor, email our staff at classyclimbtx.com. We have a promotional package that we use for 4 different channels. It's always a good time. Gabe, whenever Tam interviews the staff, messages the staff, we'll try to get her in there. But that's what I want you guys to understand. You have to make some moves. And Matthew, congratulations on making some moves, because you have to decide. And people that procrastinate, like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. What you're telling me is you're quite okay with being miserable at work, coming home, telling your family how bad work was, how everybody gossiping at work and you mad. And who wants to live like that? Like, nobody. You don't have to live like that. And if you're saying that's okay, and then you don't want to show your kids something new, you telling it's okay for them. I don't know anybody that wishes that on their children, that they go somewhere and be miserable every day. I don't know nobody. Kitty Gang, it's in the got to send the money for it. Yeah. Tam, if you're on Instagram, DM me your email address. My VA was on there too. Thank you. Congratulations. The word of 2021 is proximity for sure. Kitty Gang, it's in the links under the channel description, and also I'll put it in the first comment under the video when it renders. So anyway, the word of 2021 is proximity for sure. So congratulations. Thank you. Yes. House Hunters 2216. She does have the home inspector training class. This is facts. Sorry, you guys. It's been an hour. Go enjoy your life. Go enjoy your day. I'm gonna go do mine. All right. Have a good day, y'all. And also, Diamond Dave comes on tomorrow, 6 o'clock. I think you all really will enjoy that show. So later.